Hey, what's going on, people? This is the Tenchi back for another TMNT Rant Rave review. For this episode, Never Say Zever. So it starts out with Chris Bradford and Zever. Zever is the skinny dude with the fro, basically getting a tongue lashing by the Shredder because of the fact that they got beat by 4 turtles, right? So Zever says, "Okay, I promise if you give me another chance, I will bring these turtles. I will bring these turtles to you." And he's like, "Okay." So, Zever, you lead the mission. Chris, you follow Zever. Chris Bradford, being who he is, does not like that idea. He's like, I'm not following him. Next thing you know, Shredder breaks out the blades and looks like he's about to cut him up. He's like, oh, really? Right? So Zever says he's got some people on the street of New York that could probably keep an eye out for these turtles. He's got connections. So there we go with that. On the new in New York, in the New York side of things, you have April trying to bring her new friends, the turtles, out to eat. Now they're a little apprehensive about it because people think they're not really supposed to be seen, and number two, they don't want to freak anybody out. So they get to the restaurant, this nice little this little Japanese spot. And the owner of the restaurant is getting roughed up by a bunch of thugs by the name of Purple Dragons. Now everybody knows, if you're a turtle fan, you know who the Purple Dragons are. If you're not, then then basically they're a bunch of thugs and a bunch of incarnations of the turtles. They've always been into stealing and technology and and beating people up just because things like that. And in this case, they're basically doing the same thing, but they seem more like wanksters to me, you know what I'm saying? They don't really seem like they're all that tough, like beating up an old blind man. Woohoo, yeah, you're tough, nobody wants to mess with you. They're trying to get protection money out of this guy, but he ain't letting up. So, the turtles get into it with the Purple Dragons. There's about 4 of them. And at one point, Leonardo's got one of them, really skinny dude with tattoos. He's got one of them on the ropes, almost, able to finish him off with just one hit, one fist. But he lets go. He's like, okay, they've had enough. They're not really a threat. Go. Just go. And Raphael gets at him. He's like, why did you let that guy go? He wasn't really a threat. Yeah, but they're going to come back. Now they're going to think we're wimps. Now they're going to think we're punks. He's got that mentality that you should have finished them off, but Leonardo shows compassion. And Raphael, being who he is, he doesn't really get it. He just wants, he's like, okay, they're criminals. This is war. There should be no compassion in this. Compassion is all good, but this is war here. They're going to come back for us, and that's what he's thinking. Whereas Splinter is saying, okay, showing mercy and showing compassion is not a sign of weakness. And that's basically what this episode was focusing on this time around. You get to know a little bit more about who the character of Zever is. You're introduced to the Purple Dragons. The Turtles have a new ally in this one, and it's going on pretty well. It's going on pretty well. The rest of the episode consists of very cool, I have to say, very cool fight scenes. Rather short, but still very cool fight scenes. Yeah, then you find out that the Shredder has a big part in this too. I have to say, I can't remember who is playing the Shredder. I've heard his voice on a lot of cartoons and a lot of them that I own. In a lot of shows, they picked the right voice for this guy. Intimidating as all heck. That's what he sounds like to me. Straight up. Do not mess with the Shredder. Chris Bradford and Zever, like I said, seem like they're going to be like the Rocksteady and Bebop of this particular show, and everything else just seems to come together pretty well. I like how each episode has messages. So here's what I would ask you. If you were in the turtle situation, like say you were in that situation where you had a chance to beat somebody to a pulp and never let them forget it or show them compassion, Would you think that that's a, that would be the smart thing to do, or would you just go ahead and just pummel them? You know what I'm saying? Just like they tried to do to this old guy. What do what do you think about showing compassion? Now this is a very serious thing here, so this is why I ask. If you were in the in the turtles' place, would you have shown compassion to the purple dragons, or would you have just finished them off right then and there? I wonder. Me personally, I'm the one that shows compassion. Yeah, people might think it's weakness or whatever, but you know, this world is crazy enough. You know. But anyway, that is it for this week's TMNT Rant Rave review. Hope you enjoyed it. Check out the TMNT playlist to catch up if you haven't already. Subscribe, like the video, and as always, I am El the Tenchi. Peace, love, never be normal.